and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're brand new here. For today's video I'm going to be playing about with another palette because I'm in isolation and I have nothing else to do apart from play with makeup and watch telly, and I've watched telly for like the last week and a half, so I'm getting bored of it. So this is a palette we're going to be playing about with today. It's one of the Friends palettes by Makeup Revolution and I'm pretty sure it's the He's Her Lobster. This is what the palette looks like inside. It's giving me like Jeffree Star vibes. So this is what we're playing with, and I'm going to create two looks. So one look on this side, one look on that side, just like my previous video. So at the same time as I'm doing my makeup, I'm going to be telling a story. I have tried to do story times on my channel before and it just didn't work because I'm not the best at storytelling. But I'm going to try my hardest. If you want to see the two looks I create using this palette and hear my little story time, just keep watching. So I never thought I would actually speak about this on YouTube. It just wasn't something I thought I would bring up. Like, it wasn't what I wanted to do, but I've changed my mind. This story time is going to be about the time that a girl, a human, bit my nose during a fight. I actually bit my nose. It's actually hilarious thinking back because like, ew, like you actually bit my nose. So this is going back to like 2010. In 2010 I was what you would call a scene kid. So hopefully everyone knows what that is. If you're younger, Google it. So I was like 13 or 14 at this point. Every weekend, every day after school I would go into town because there was a big group of like all the alternative kind of groups. So it was like scene kids, emos, moshers, goths, literally every alternative kind of group. They were all in town. I think it was because the skate park was in town, and then also there was like, I don't even know what to call it, like a youth group. Yeah, I suppose it was because you couldn't go when you were past 18, but it was called The Rock. And we would go there. There was like pool tables, Xboxes, like arts and crafts, computers. There would be like band nights. There was lots of bands because we were all like aspiring artists, if you will. It was such a good place to go. It was like a safe space for us. So that is one of the places we would go. That's a wee bit of the backstory. And in town there was like a massive group of us, all different ages, like everybody knew everybody, everybody kind of hung around. On the day that this incident happened, it was just a usual day. I went into town, I was with Paige and I met up with the boy I was going out with and other friends that were in town. We went to The Rock and we sat there for a while until it started getting dark, and that's when we kind of decided, oh, we're going to go up to the park, up to the skate park. I don't know if it was the weekend because I don't think I was planning on drinking, but it must have been the weekend because we went up quite early. I can't remember if before this happened I had like beef with this girl. We'll call her Kelly for the sake of this video. I don't know if we had beef or anything like that. I really can't remember. But we went up to the park and her boyfriend was there. So that was fine because I was friends with her boyfriend and Harry's still friends with him to this day. But we got there and I can just remember like walking straight into the skate park and he handed me a can. So obviously, thanks. I was underage, I couldn't buy it on my own. I think he was of age. And then I can remember him saying he'd had a text message from Kelly and she was like, oh, like people in town are talking about you and Rhiannon going to walk with each other, which obviously wasn't true. I got there like 5 minutes previous, so I don't know when this was supposed to have happened. So I'm like, what the actual fuck, like where does that came from? What an absolute joke. Didn't happen. He's trying to like talk her around, isn't working because she was a hothead. So I'm just like, alright, well she's coming up and that's it. I was like, oh fucking great. Because at this point I hadn't been in any fights. Like I was like 13, 14. I hadn't been in a fight. I was like, Christ. But like, you know. But anyway, I was like, alright. Hadn't been in a fight before. this girl's got to come up, she's not got to be rational, she just wasn't a rational kind of person. So I'm like, alright, okay. Kind of waiting on it, but then I was kind of thinking, will she be rational? Is there any chance of her being rational? Or am I farting plums? So like 10 minutes later, I can see like 2 people running in the distance. And I'm thinking, surely no. Because the way I was brought up, I was like, right, it'll be one-on-one, she's just there. But they were like running like crazy bitches. I'm just standing there like, I wasn't going to run away because that's just not an option. So I'm just standing there like, alright, okay, these are running, fab. Just need to wait it out. So that is exactly what I done. I waited there, just like literally watching them run over the grass and at the skate park. And both of them, her and her cousin, jump on me. Disgusting, you know. If you're going to do it, at least do it on your own, not with your cousin. I can remember like when they were running at me and like mid-jump, I had a cigarette and I like pinged it, and I think it hurt. But, you know, I'm glad it hurt. But then they both jumped on me, and then the cousin like jumps up and she's like, oh my god, Rhiannon, I'm so sorry. And I'm thinking, alright. Like, you wouldn't just do that then apologise. Like, get a grip of yourself. Like, do something and own it. Anyway, so she's done that. She jumps up. And then me and Kelly are just fighting. I say fighting, like, we weren't really. She, like, had my hair, then got on top of me. Like, there was no punches or anything thrown. I think in my head I was like, I'm not going to throw any punches because you're not throwing any punches. Like, we're literally just lying there in the middle of a skate park. Like, have we got a kiss? Like, what are you doing? So then, like, we're just rolling about. I had her hair, she had my hair. And then, like, she comes really close to me, and I was like, oh, we really are going to kiss at this moment in time. I can't remember exactly what it was she said. It was like, I've warned you or something. And I'm like, warned me about what? Like, I've literally not spoke to you about this situation. So what have you warned me about? And then she chomps down on my nose. So obviously to start with, I can feel it because obviously you're biting. Like, she was biting my nose, and I had just like a week ago, before this happened, got my septum pierced. And that's what I was most gutted about, because obviously I was 13, 14, not the legal age to get pierced. My mum didn't know. I had to like bully my uncle into taking me, because I could have went to the other guy that we used to get to pierce us, but I wanted my septum to be straight, and he didn't have the best track record for straight septums, so I wanted to go to somebody proper to do my septum. So I had to get my uncle to come with me. My mum didn't know about it. I just got it pierced. I just like spent all my pocket money on it. So obviously I was raging about that because she was biting my nose where my septum was. And I had not long dyed my hair brown from pink and got like clip-in extensions, and obviously she was pulling on them, which was ruining them. So yeah, she's biting down on my nose, and then that's when I'm like, okay, I really need to start doing something. So I'm like punching on the sides of the head, poking her eyes, like squeezing her nose, like trying everything. And like I can hear my best friend Paige like shouting. I can hear other people like shouting, being like, nah, right, that's a bit too far, get off her. But no matter what I done, this, I was going to say this bitch, but this girl did not let go. Like, it honestly reminds me of when like a dog latches on to something. Like, that is the only thing I can compare it to, because she wasn't letting go. She really wasn't letting go. And people have said like after it, you should have blew your nose, like that would have, but like, ugh, you don't think of things like that at the time. So anyway, like 2 older boys, like one of the boys I'm still pretty close with, they were like picking her up, and obviously I was coming up where I was like, nah, just put her back down, just put her back down. There was like nothing I could do. So then, it's a bit blurry, but like after a while, she let us go. She let us go in my nose, which is great. Thanks for that. Thanks for giving me my nose back. I really appreciate that. Like, she gets off me, I bounce up thinking like, well, that wasn't a fight. Like, ready to actually fight. No. Her and her cousin scarp her. Like, run away. And I'm thinking, you disgusting creatures. Like, what the hell? Like, that's just dirty. Dirty. You dirty pig. So that was me. Like, I couldn't feel my face anymore because obviously it went numb. I can't really remember anything else about that. I can just remember walking back into town. Paige had my extensions and like a picture of Ollie Sykes that somebody drew me because it fell out my pocket. And I was raging. Like, walking back into town, obviously people were staring at me because like my nose had been bitten, and like you could tell, like my nose was huge, it had cuts on it, and then obviously I was getting stares, so I felt horrible, like really, really horrible. I'm walking into town, I think I punched a wall and stuff, like I was raging. And I was probably kicking myself because I was like, why did I let that happen? Like, I've always thought fighting was stupid. So even back then I was like, nah, this is stupid. Any normal person would talk it out, but she clearly wasn't a normal person. So we get back to town and we go back to the Rock. And I'm like, okay, yeah, my nose is bitten. By the time we got back to town, like everyone knew about it. Like, that was the thing about town. Everybody knew everything, like, so quickly. Like, word travelled so quickly. Yeah, everybody knew everything. So I got back there, Harry was there. I can't remember it, but apparently I ran right up to him and was like, oh my god, she bit my nose. And Harry got the fright of his life. Anyway, I can't remember that. So I went to town and went to the Rock, and they were like, right, Rhiannon, we need to clean that. So I done first aid, and one of the women, I cannot remember her name, but they were like honestly angels, the people that ran the Rock. They were like, Rhiannon, we need to take your septum out, and I was like, oh no. And they took my septum out. I nearly fainted. Like, nearly fainted. But like, everyone knew about it so quickly. Like, word travelled so fast back then. It was mental. Like, everybody had my back. It was so nice. All the elders as well. Like, so it was like us, and then there was older people. So like, they all had my back, which was really, really nice. I was so thankful that like they had my back. And not a lot of people were on this girl's side. They just thought it was mental, and there was a lot of jokes going about after that, like, oh, I'm hungry. I'll go to McDonald's. No, I'll just eat Rihanna's notes. There was like, back in the day when you could make a Facebook page, there was so much of them going about. Which, looking back, I'm like, it's quite like bullying. But at the same time, I'm like, nah, like, you bit my nose. So it didn't last long. Like, back then, people forget about things so quickly. So it's not as if it lasted long. And probably now, it probably doesn't even follow her about because, like, hardly anybody hangs about, you know, with the same people. Her reputation's probably not tarnished. So yeah, I'm at the Rock, blah blah. I go back out, I go for a cigarette, and then my friend Paige, and I think Aidan got the train back. But get the train back, and my mum must have been on holiday because I went back to my nan's. My poor nan, honestly, she got the fright of her life. I was like, oh. So my mum came back for holiday and then ended up having to take me to the hospital, obviously. So I got like a tetanus, Hep B, a Hep B or a Hep C jab, and I had to get 3 of them. So I got one that night and then another 2, like however many weeks afterwards, and I had to get blood taken. No needles. I have like a phobia of needles. So I had to honestly get blood taken, and it was like 3 vials, and I was like, fuck's sake. And I had to lie down because I was like, I'm going to faint again for the second time tonight. After that I went home. Almost everyone knew about it, like at school and stuff. So I had, I think, a week off school. Obviously the police were phoned, but nothing could be done because she was a minor, I was a minor. But good thing about it, I actually got money for it. So it was like criminal justice money. So when I was 18 I got £1,500 for that happening, because it did leave a scar. Like, you can kind of see in here, there's a few scars, but obviously when it first happened they were like bright red. So it wasn't the nicest, and it was quite strange. Like a few years after that happened, like 2 years after that happened, I was in an argument with someone else and the girl who bit my nose was like, "Oh yeah, I've got your back." And I'm thinking, no. I can still see a bit of my nose in your mouth. You've not got my back. That's basically story time. When someone bit my nose. I'm still raging about my septum though. Like, my septum is what I was most angry about. Because, like, I just got it done. Just got it done. And I liked it. I'm going to do my face makeup off camera, come back and just tie this look together. I'm liking it a bit more that my full face has been done. I'm going to add finishing touches onto both eyes. Okay, I've stuck on like these spider lashes. I didn't realise how big they were going to be on the eyes, but they can stay like that. So this is the finished looks. Completely different than what I'd planned. Not the happiest with them, especially with these lashes on. That is all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed seeing me playing about with a different palette yet again. And I hope you enjoy my wee story time. I might do more of them when I can compose them a bit better. But that is all I have for today's video. If you did enjoy seeing me playing about with this palette and my story time, don't forget to like and subscribe. I could really use your support, and until next time, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!